And that's backwards there. Hello, vinyl community. And it is 5 days, 5 hours and counting till record store day. This is my rambling on about records number 5. And thought I would talk about record store day a little bit. I hope to do one next week after I've picked up some new stuff. But couldn't really think of anything else to do. Just show some random records, but I thought of record store day. Thought I'd talk about that a little bit and maybe show some of the records that I've picked up in record store days past. So some of these I've already shown, but I will really quickly go through Pete Townsend Quadrophenia Demos. Oops. Pete Townsend Quadrophenia Demos Volume 1. Pete Townsend Quadrophenia Demos Volume 2. Maybe I got that backwards. Those were from Black Friday Record Store Day, I believe. Don't hold me to remembering which was which here. The Knack Live in Los Angeles, little EP with 4 songs on it that came out a record store day or two ago. Kind of a cool orange vinyl. Sound quality on this is not so great. It's a 1978 live recording. So I think their debut album came out in '79, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess this was when they were still up and coming. Anyway, I had showed those before, so I'm not going to spend too much time on those. There's a John Lennon Imagine box set that I showed in my first or second video. It's back there somewhere, and I don't want to go dig it out right now. So some of the 45s I've picked up, I'll just run through those really quick. Rolling Stones, just some stuff off Sticky Fingers. This one's numbered 1123. You can see that. That's still sealed because I've got Sticky Fingers and I've got all these songs on well, Let It Rock's not on Sticky Fingers, but anyway, I've got all these songs, and so I have not got around to opening that. Couple of White Stripes Record Store Day 45s from the past. That's their debut 45. Let's Shake Hands, Look Me Over Closer. I know these records are backwards on the screen there. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong there, if there's a way to fix that. This is Lafayette Blues and Sugar Never Tasted So Good, which I believe was their third 45. I like the White Stripes up through White Blood Cells, and I was not Elephant and Get Behind Me Satan were okay, I thought. Their last album I liked okay. Thought it was pretty good. I thought it was better than the two that followed it, but I like their early stuff. Alright, let's see. There's a James Brown Live at the Apollo Record Store Day 45. Never have enough James Brown, I always say. Shuggy Otis, some pretty good stuff. I think that was from an album that was released after Record Store Day, which actually it is. There's on the back there. I don't know if you can see that. This one's kind of interesting. It was going to be a Motown 45 that I think they even recorded a whole album, but it never was released officially. It's not on the Motown label. It's on something called VIP. It is the Mina Birds from, I want to say 66, 65, somewhere around there. And there's the sleeve. Interesting, you've got Rick James and Neil Young in the same band recording for Motown, which is an odd pairing to say the least. But Neil Young is from Canada. I think Rick James maybe was too, or maybe Neil Young had come to America by then and they'd met, but they were friends back in the day, and they started the Mina Birds, and this was before, I think it was before Buffalo Springfield. So Rick James was got in trouble and had to go to the Army, or he was in the Army and was running around AWOL, I think the story goes, and so he got sent back to military service, and that's what sunk the Minor Birds. But that 45, I think it never came out officially until the Neil Young compilation thing that he did a few years ago, the big box set. I think it was on that, and then on Record Store Day, the album. And this is not bad. It's not earth shaking, but it's pretty good stuff. And the album has never been released, so far as I know. Would be interesting to hear it someday. I guess it's sitting in Motown's vaults. I think I've shown this before. Link Ray. It's a double 45 set, and really good stuff. I don't have much Link Ray, and this is what I have. I know Rumble and a couple of things, but I'm not that familiar with him. But these are both Big City After Dark, sort of a film noir set to early 60s guitar rock. So good stuff on that. Going fast because I've got quite a few things here to get through, and so can't spend too much time on any one deal. Showed this before. This is Paul Weller's from his latest album, and I think the B-side is not on the album, which is called The Piper. The Dangerous Age is the A-side, and it is colored vinyl, which is a really good 45 too, because I have his, I love the Jam. They're probably my third favorite band, if you want to categorize things. Beatles, Kinks, and Jam, I always say. I have Weller's last 3 solo albums before this one, which are not as good as the Jam, but are really good. A lot of his stuff after the Jam, Style Council and solo, is some good, some kind of hit and miss. I don't have this album yet, but I hear it's supposed to be pretty good, and this 45, both of these songs I like a lot, so I need to check that out. But my plan there is Record Store Day. They are going to, Yep Rock is the label that he's on in America anyway, and this album's been out for over a year now. But for Record Store Day, they're putting out a box set of 45s, making up the album on colored vinyl, limited edition thing. So I hope to get that among my other Record Store Day purchases here in 5 days, 4 hours, and something minutes. Let's see, albums, and I think I've pulled out everything that I've gotten over the last several Record Store Days. Probably missing some things that are sitting over there. I'm sure I'll find something that I missed afterwards, but oh well, we'll make it up later or not. This is an introduction to Syd Barrett, and it's still sealed because I haven't got around to open it, and I've got everything on here elsewhere. But this is a limited edition thing too. I don't remember. This was Record Store Day like 3 years ago, I think. I want to say. It's got all, well, not all, but it's got a lot of the Pink Floyd things, Arnold Layne, See Emily Play, some of the things off Piper, like Bike, and then a lot of his solo, Baby Lemonade, Dominoes, Gigolo Ant. So it's, I don't really like the cover of that. It's kind of a silly cover, I think, but back's okay. Good introduction to Syd Barrett if you don't already have his stuff, and if you're on the VC, I would imagine that most people already do or are aware of it. This one is also still sealed because I got the DVD, I got the CD that Rhino put out 10 years ago of this, Television Live. It's a good one, but this is on vinyl. One of these days I'm going to open this to see how it sounds on vinyl. I probably should do that pretty soon. But live at the old Waldorf, San Francisco back in '78, right around the time of the Marquee Moon album. There's a Miles Davis. This is from the last record store day. This was Black Friday record store last November, and there were several, I want to say 3 or 4 Miles Davis albums put out, and there's several more, 3 or 4 again, this record store day coming up. It's numbered 3213 out of however many they made. I don't remember. Let's see. This is Rough Guide to Psychedelic Africa. This was last year's record store day, I'm pretty sure. And Rough Guide, they had 3 or 4 Rough Guide albums out last record store day, and this, I think there were 3 of them, maybe 4. This is the one I got. This is good stuff. I've got some other CDs and albums of psychedelic funk soul music from Africa, which is kind of the kids over in Africa heard James Brown and Motown and whatnot, and they did their own thing with it. So good stuff on there, and that's I like that one. I play that quite a bit. These two kind of go together, being the same band and whatnot. Record store day, I don't remember, last year I believe. First Grateful Dead album, mono pressing, and so basically that. Good stuff. And the other part of that being record store day, Black Friday record store day that just went last November, and I've got the record in here. This is nice cover, good heavy cardboard on this. I like this, and oh well, some liner notes. Grateful Dead, May 30th, Winterland, 1971. I don't think that's not the whole concert, but it's a good chunk of it, double album. And that's the funny thing on the Grateful Dead. I was never a huge fan, wasn't crazy about the radio hits such as they were, like Trucking and Casey Jones and Touch of Grey. Didn't hate them, but was never my thing. What few things I heard of them here and there, because they didn't get a lot of radio play, never jazzed me that much. But and I love 60s music, and I love the whole San Francisco, California scene and psychedelic and all. But so anyway, got XM radio with when I got my car several years ago. They've got a Grateful Dead station. I don't listen to it that often. Every once in a while I turned it on just out of curiosity. Some of it I didn't like that much. Some of it I thought, well, you know, it's not too bad. So when I saw their first album, I thought I'd pick it up a year or so ago, and I really enjoy it. And this live album I play quite a bit. So and it does have Truckin' on it, but I just play it through. I don't hate the song, it's just not. But it's good stuff. They're kind of out of my element a little bit, but I guess in my old age I'm getting to like them a little more. Almost done here. This one, I don't remember which one this was from. Great album. It is on red vinyl, and this may well be arguably the best album of the 50s as far as rock and roll. I don't know if you're going to bring jazz into the mix, but I don't know, maybe Elvis's Sun Sessions, which was not really an album proper, or the first Elvis album, maybe something by Buddy Holly or Chuck Berry, but this is, and this pressing sounds really good to me, and all killer, no filler, as they say. Not a bad song on here. The sticker says beware of imitations, even though I later recorded the hits on other labels. These are the original recordings. That's a personal message of Little Richard's there. I am almost out of things here, and I'm kind of rushing through because Mad Men is coming on here shortly, and I want to not miss it. Let's see. Yeah, there was one other 45, and I don't know. Oh, here it is. This is just a Fela Kuti, and this was a couple of record store days ago, and it is the same song on both sides, just part 1 and part 2, Monday morning in Lagos. So that's pretty good stuff, and that is all I have by him. He's another one that I need to intend to check out more because he's supposed to be really good, so I've heard. Let's see, Record Store Day. Anyway, so the argument goes with a lot of people on Record Store Day that it's just this manufactured event. It's reissued stuff that's overpriced, that a lot of people that go there don't care about record collecting one way or another. They're just trying to grab up stuff to toss on eBay. That it's, if you go to record stores, there shouldn't have to be a day to do it. You just go to record stores when you want to go to record stores. I pretty much agree with all of that, and yet I have been going, I think this is the 5th year of Record Store Day, maybe it's the 6th. I have been going to it since I think the 2nd year, and I'll go to Doc's Records here in Fort Worth and to Record Town, which is also in Fort Worth. That's now the oldest record store in Fort Worth. It's dates back to 1950, 51 or so. Same owner. The guy that owns it now is the son of the guy who started it. But anyway, yeah, Doc's. I went last year. They open, I want to say 9 or 10 o'clock. Showed up early. Showed up at about 7:30. There was already 5 or 10 people there in line, and the line kind of grew and grew. Just hung out, shot the bull with a bunch of people that really like music and really like record collecting, which was a lot of fun. Doxy has they have barbecue and beer and local bands playing on that day. He marks, I don't know if he's doing it this year, but he marks his records down to phone. He marks his records down like 15-20% off on the regular stock. In addition to the he doesn't mark down the Record Store Day stuff, but so I don't know. It's a manufactured event. It's kind of getting bigger and bigger, which is not necessarily a good thing. But in spite of all that, I still kind of get a kick out of it. I get excited to waiting for the list to come out of what's going to be the releases for that particular Record Store Day. Marking off what I hope to get. A lot of stuff that I don't need but want, and is fun. I try to, by and large, I try to buy stuff that I don't already have or that I really want. A couple of exceptions. I showed, obviously I've got Sticky Fingers, and I just picked that up for fun. The only exception that I can really think of was a couple of record store days ago. I did buy this. I'm not a Nirvana fan. I'm not a Nirvana fan. I don't have anything against them. They just don't really float my boat. But I picked that up just because it was there, and it's still sealed, and I set it aside, and someday I'll trade it or sell it or give it away, or might even listen to it. They're okay. I'm not down on them or anything, but so yeah. Then, like I said, with Record Store Day, I had heard about it. I didn't know. I think it was only a year or two ago that I found out that it was only 4 or 5 years old. I thought that I had heard about it here and there, and I thought it had been around for. I mean, I didn't think it was ancient, but I thought it had been around for 10 years or so. I thought it was a thing, and so I went to Forever Young Records. I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. And I think that would have been the second one, not the first one. And I, you know, just thought that'd be fun because they're going to have bands and so forth. Go out and pick out some records, um, and that's in Irving. And didn't really pay attention to the. I saw some stuff about the Record Store Day releases, but I didn't really tune into that till the year after that for some reason. When I got there, they had some of that stuff on the table, but I didn't. And I didn't get there early and stand in line or anything. I just went, but probably got there right around an hour or so after they opened. But they still had some stuff on the table then, and I didn't pay attention or buy any of that. I just got some other stuff. I should have pulled a couple of Funkadelic albums that I bought that second year that were just nothing to do with Record Store Day, just regular releases. Uh, so, but I had fun, and then the next year I kind of tuned into the Record Store Day releases and bought some of the stuff that I showed you there. So, anyway, it is getting closer to time for Mad Men, so I will sign off and hope that you all are looking forward to Record Store Day, or if you don't care about it, not. But and thanks for everyone that's watched the videos and commented on them and subscribed. That's nice, and I've been watching more and more and subscribing to more and more people on the VC and enjoying the videos. It's fun to see. There's a good mix of people, and fun to listen to them talk about music and what it means to them. So happy Record Store Day coming up, and I will be back. Oh, there's one other that I didn't put in here that I got in Record Store Day, but it is Christmas related, and so I'm going to save that for a Christmas record video to be shot later, November or so. And so yeah, happy Record Store Day, and thanks for watching, and everybody have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you later.